Welcome everyone to Around the ACL. Michelle Thompson here with Trey Ryder, and Wally Kastler will be joining us in a little bit. He actually just got into New Orleans, which is going to be where our Open is happening this weekend. So as soon as he gets settled, he'll hop on with us, but we'll hold it down until then. But yeah, exciting cornhole coming up this weekend. I keep forgetting it's an Open. When I'm talking to other pros, I'm like, oh, the National. They're like, oh no, I'm going to New Orleans. I'm like, oh yeah, it's an Open. Just kidding.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Sweet. I like
Yeah,
it.
and it's like these opens kind of in the latter half of the season. To me, they have like a different vibe to them. Almost,
Yeah.
it's like it almost feels a little bit more fun and relaxed comparison to some of the other ones in the past, because it's like, okay, this is kind of a break, an opportunity in between some of these Pro Series events. But what do you think, Wally? Oh wait, he's not here yet.
Crickets. No opinion whatsoever.
None. He doesn't. He gets no opinion. But no, yeah, I think it's great. I mean, like I said, it's a different vibe, and I'm interested to see how this weekend goes, right? Because this is like, we haven't done the pro season like this before, where we have like the broadcast 2 weeks later, right? I think there's some positive and negative to it, right? So many, you're like, oh, I just wish we could play right now, but at the same time, like, it builds some level of suspense, right? It builds up to something and builds anticipation. So I kind of like it.
If I was a pro and I had made it to the finals, I would be using this 2 week time to be doing all the things that I normally wouldn't have time for. So I feel like they're missing the boat if they don't see this as an opportunity, because I would be doing crazy visualizations of myself winning. I'd be doing visualizations every single day. You can't do that if you're just rolling into the finals that same day or the next day. Like I would be prepping my mind so much in 2 weeks. Like, I think it's an advantage. I'll say that too, as the sideline reporter. Oh my God, it's so much better. I'm having all these conversations with people before the broadcast. Yeah. Like, I actually have content going into the weekend as opposed to scrambling an hour before. And so I'm loving it. And 3, it's an Open on ESPN Plus. That's cool. We haven't had that yet.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. This is our first Open on ESPN Plus. That's a great point. But I'm pretty sure you still prefer 30 minutes to prepare for a broadcast instead of 2 weeks, right? You just rolling in.
Look, I definitely, I mean, I'm not Anthony preparation, don't get me wrong, but he's totally different preparation, because I'd be like meditating, yoga, doing affirmations, visualizing. Like, that would be my prep, and he would be like drilling. Like, I don't know what he'd be doing. I can't speak for Anthony, but I know it'd be different than what I would be doing.
From a color commentator perspective, Anthony puts me to absolute shame when it comes to preparation. Now, what I will say is, I've been doing a lot of like the research and putting it all in packets for all the production teams. So like, that's actually been my form of prep, because I'm just so much an off the cuff kind of like, it's gotta feel natural. So but it's been a good balance. But Anthony absolutely does his homework, for those wondering at home.
As does Jeff. Yeah, he's definitely the prep guy. And I don't know how it translates. So this is why I've never done like sports stuff, because I don't know how it translates, how I take my wanting to be kind of spur of the moment, not fully like rehearsed, into a sport. Like, I don't know how that works, but it may or may not be good. But anyways, let's get into it. So this is Open number 13 that's happening in New Orleans, just right outside of New Orleans in Westwego. And then we do have so many broadcasts. 12 hours of broadcasts. 12
hours.
Nobody told me this, Trey. What the
There's
heck?
a lot.
Oh, man. But you guys get to all watch it, so I'm excited for you. And the Celebrity Superhole. Oh, I didn't even put that in there. I totally forgot about that. We got to talk about the Celebrity Superhole at some point today.
Yes, we'll find room for it. We can squeeze trivia a little bit. We'll get some Superhole in there.
That sounds good. Okay, yeah, because it's gonna be really fun. It's my favorite event as the sideline reporter, because they talk.
So yeah, that's true. They got plenty to talk about.
Makes my job really easy. And then we have like teams versus teams, so it'll be really cool. But let's get into the Open. These Opens are cool because since they are on ESPN Plus, it gives our other players, not just pros, a chance to say they were on ESPN.
Yeah.
Quote, right?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. Exactly correct.
So who are you looking at?
Yeah, this is an interesting one, right? So again, the field has a good mix of pro players and amateurs alike. When we look at the top level, I think it'd be unfair to point eyes at anybody else right now except Jeremiah Ellis.
I
Right?
refuse to talk about him anymore. No, he gets way too much time on our show.
He's getting more time from me. You cannot talk about him. But yeah, he's earned it, right? He's the only player. So when we look at the open portion of it, right? He just won the last open, right? So open number 12, he wins. Open number 13, he's here. He's got to be someone that you're looking at. Then when I look at who he's playing with in doubles, he's playing with Kyle Malone. First of all, whoa.
Yeah.
Second of all, a team that has plenty of potential to do some damage, right? So then I look at what he's doing this weekend. We're going to talk about the broadcast, but he is in the finals or in the semifinals of both shootout and national singles. To me, that is really, really impressive and not something that many rookies can do. So when we talk about it and we look at players to highlight, to me, when we're talking even just about the Open, he's got to be someone that we look at, right? Because he's right there at the end, and he continues to be the one that a lot of people have their eyes on, and he's earned a lot of it. So I'm certainly watching him as a big time favorite. And then comes yes, you have your Mark Richards and Tony Smith, and in a way, this almost feels like home field advantage because Lucky Bags is based out of New Orleans, so they get some type of home field advantage, in a weird way. But also someone like an Ian Cripps, right? Do we get continued sustained success from Ian Cripps, right? He's playing in his hometown of Louisiana, and we'll talk about the broadcast later, but there's now a level of expectation out of, Ian Cripps that we haven't had ever before. And now he has the opportunity to do that. The youngest ACL pro ever at 10 years old a few years ago is now this crafty veteran at 15 years old. It's kind of weird to think about. But he's someone that I'm excited to watch and see if he can continue to blossom. If you look at the all cornhole team, if you had told me the most successful player coming out of the first national event would have been Ian Cripps, I probably would have laughed at you a little bit, right? But no Cheyenne at the end there in women's or in singles or doubles. No Jamie Graham, no Frank Modlin. So that's it's an interesting result that we have there. I also find it interesting. We're not talking a lot about pro women's singles that will happen, and we're going to get all the way down to a final two that will show on the broadcast this weekend. It's not on my list as well, but Cheyenne not registered. So right out of the gate for this pro women's tournament of champions, we're probably defaulting to a woman that's not going to be Cheyenne, which means this is a winnable pro women's singles event for somebody. And it's one less opportunity for Cheyenne moving forward throughout the rest of the year. And I don't want to harp too much on that because we're still talking mostly here just about the Open itself. Justin Burton Jr. And Logan Chamberlain in particular, two players that, by their standard, probably didn't have the best first national. This Open gives them an opportunity to reset. Now, JBJ finishes, fourth in his bracket. Logan Chamberlain make a deep run in singles. But they didn't make a broadcast. And for them, if you had said going out of the first national that they would not be on any broadcast, I think they would say it was a disappointment. Although they played relatively well, I still think,
they're not playing together, though.
Yeah, no, they're not playing together. Who's Chamberlain
playing with? JBJ's playing with Gavin.
And Chamberlain is playing with Sammy Soto. So, they've, Chamberlain and Soto have had opportunities before to, they've won an Open before together. So, I mean, that's certainly something that I'm paying attention to. And then as you look down, there are some, there's a number of different players. Like the Gore brothers are going to be there, right? I'm maybe getting a little bit concerned about Jake Gore. I did some commentary around the regional this past weekend, and Jake Gore was beatable. He wasn't bad. He just was beatable. Jack and Jake at a regional here in Rock Hill went 0-2 in doubles, which is odd to say the least. I was happy with what I'm seeing out of Jack Gore, but Jake in particular is someone that is, I'm not ready to say hit a panic button or anything like that, but, at least a little bit of concern, right? A little bit of concern. Caleb Batson, we talked about someone that I thought potentially was going to continue right where he was left off. Anthony has him, had him as his number one player that he predicted throughout the season. Again, someone that didn't have the best first national of the season. He's not too far down the road.
He did those
Louisiana to Texas.
stat-wise. If you looked at his stats, he performed very well. That's what made me less concerned about Caleb.
Yeah, and that may be the case. Statistics generally are going to tell us on, odds on who's going to be consistently do well. And I like that you put trivia at the end of this episode. Side note, I also like that we finally have all these career stats, Michelle, because I kept finding myself digging through them, being like, whoa, wait, what? There were some of these interesting anomalies, even within the season and for the full season. I just thought were just so interesting and in a way made sense, and other ways didn't make sense.
Right.
You mentioned Gavin, Bella Soprenin, another person. She's made the women's doubles final. She's going to be playing. Alex Rawls is someone that I think Alex Rawls had the absolute best possible national that you could have without making a TV broadcast. In singles, he was right there in both. In doubles, him and Holland played pretty well overall. So I'm not worried at all about Rawls. I'm just looking for him to
Do you know his
get over
partner?
the hump.
Do you know who that is? Tyler Rukab? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so I don't either.
Let me see. Yeah, I have no idea who Tyler is. So it'll be interesting to see how they play together as a unit. And then maybe the last one that's worth noting is, we talked a lot about top amateur players. We're going to see a Jaden Ellis, but we're also getting an opportunity to see Gavin Hammond and Jackson Remick. And Jackson Remick in particular is going to be someone that's going to be appearing on the TV broadcast for the Colorado Timber and playing as an amateur player. He'll be, playing at the collegiate level next year, but, we've been impressed when we've seen them play together at a high level. And so this is another opportunity for them to play together.
Yeah, Jackson's throwing with Gio Mora, which is a kid from my area who's really good. He hangs with the Ty Morris, the Adrian, the Tony Forbes, all those guys. They're young guys. So Gio Mora, very, very good. And then Gavin's playing with Devin Harbaugh. So, he's a pretty good partner. He's okay.
Devin Harbaugh is not bad as far as someone to play with. So
I'd love to know how that happened. It just because then Fisher Hamilton, I just saw his name. Who was he throwing with? It was somebody else too. Where'd you go?
Landon
Fisher?
Crabtree. Whoa, yeah, what a weird one. Landon Crabtree.
I don't know how these partnerships. I would love to be a fly on the wall of because I'm pretty sure, knowing our cornhole players, somebody messaged was like, "Hey, you want to play?" And they're like, "Sure." And no thought. It's just and then it's the domino effect of all right, well, now who's that person gonna play with now that you took their partner? And then there it goes. That's my guess, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I like this other one too that just popped up here. Jackson Gore and Cash Chamness.
Oh, and I saw Rich is playing. Hold on, now I gotta find it.
Rich Chamness is playing. Owner of BG is playing.
Owner of BG is playing with. Hold on, wait for it. Zachary Engelken. Hey Zach.
Oh, look at that.
That was nice of you. That was nice of you to want to carry Rich on your back like that.
You know what happened though? When BG got into the broadcast, they put up Zach Engelken to play in Superhole. This all makes sense now. This was an exchange. It sounds like it's all right. I'll put you in Superhole, but you gotta be you gotta throw with me in doubles.
It's good on you, Zach. No, Cash is a shooter. No, Rich is good. He's no Cash though.
He's no Cash. And then probably the last one. I mean, Alec Ryan and Ethan Walker, they made the broadcast. They're going to be interesting to watch, just because their play style and how, one thing I saw different, which was interesting, is I saw Ethan Walker put more bags in the hole in Palm Beach than I think I ever have seen him. And he even, jokingly walked by me at one point and he goes, "I just threw over a 10 in a game. I don't think I've ever thrown over a 10 in a game."
Not his style.
It's just something to think about as some of these players. This is where we get correction, right? This national is all about correction. Someone's going to go through and be like, "I didn't do this well in Palm Beach. I need to fix that before I get to Colorado," which is the next opportunity for national points.
I think Ethan, he's maturing, right? He's becoming a bit more thoughtful about his shot selection, and it's paying off. That's my opinion, at least. I think it's a good sign for Ethan. I mean, we all knew he could do all the shots. It's just about being picky about when you do all the shots. Many players could attest to that. Tony Smith, Eric Davis, all the good ones.
Couldn't go 16 minutes without saying Eric Davis's name, could you?
Yeah, because I've been giving Jeremiah Ellis so much love. I have to throw it somewhere else.
Yes, that's
It's
fair.
getting annoying, Jeremiah. Enough. All right, news around the league. We had some opens, international opens. We had some state championships. Let's go through it. The Slovakia Open singles winner Roman Elsner, and he also took doubles with Goran Milecevic. Did I get
Hey, look at that.
Alberta Open singles Mike Ferreira, doubles Mike Ferreira and Yeti Irwan, and for the Canada Pro singles Brandon Brown, and Canada Pro doubles Carl Menard and Guillaume Tremblay. All right, I'm so glad we're international.
Roll.
Massachusetts State Championship. Okay, for all the state championships sweeps. Like, this is just the thing now. Like,
yeah, this is weird. It is. Yeah, if you're hot that day, you're hot all day.
Yeah, you're unstoppable. So Massachusetts, Jacob Trzynski takes down singles and doubles with David Trzynski. Is this dad, brother? Dad. Okay.
Yeah, his dad threw a higher PPR than him in doubles as well.
There we go.
It's hilarious.
I love it. Maryland State Champion Justin Stranger in single and doubles with, I don't know. Have you heard of this guy? His name's Jake Brannon.
I think it's Jockey.
Oh, okay. Is okay. Got it. How did he do that? We don't know. No, just kidding, Jake. And then Ohio State Championship, Jeremiah Ellis takes down singles and doubles, apparently back-to-back years from what I saw on social media, and he did doubles with Noah Almanza. So congrats to all of our winners. Trey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I think this is, a lot of players who show up here in these rankings are ones that are trending upward, right? Jeremiah Ellis trending upward, obviously. Justin Stranger, love to see that at Justin Stranger. That's a good, strong finish for him to sweep those events. Trzynski, like statistically, even coming out of that first event, was one of the most dominating players on the weekend. So Trzynski really trending upwards. As we go international, Brandon Brown just continues to showcase that he is the top talent in Canada. And so really it's just trying to find someone that can take him off that throne. And at least for now, he's sitting on it for a good long while. Over in Slovakia, Roman Elsner is a name that I've seen a couple times now finish towards the top of things. Again, I always like to give a good setting and a good check of exactly, PPR wise where these guys are. Roman Elsner won the tournament over in Europe with an 8-9 PPR in singles. So a tournament PPR. So again, we're talking about getting towards that point. The game over there is growing at a rapid pace. And especially when you look at a country like Slovakia that has some level of diehard following, but is also not one of the largest states or countries. It's one that is continuing to grow. So I just like seeing that growth over there in Europe, and the talent keeps getting better and better. And I just keep getting even more excited for the European Championship that I'll go to in September.
Ooh! Oh, look who finally made it, Wally. What up?
All right. Hopefully, I got good enough service here. We'll see.
Well, you got some background noise.
Loud?
A little bit. It's okay. We'll make it work.
All right.
I put myself in a corner so no one would bother me.
Yeah, you once again, you landed before you can even get in your room, right? You can't check in yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always do that, but I guess there's some hotel issues too. So they're changing hotels last minute, and it's just chaos. So Fred's here in the lobby doing some Fred stuff. And I'll see what I can.
Put Fred on. Let's get Fred as a co-host for Around the ACL this week. I mean,
hey, well,
fast money, Fred.
You made it just in time to do our top 10 shots. So talk about timing. I got it queued up, Trey. Don't worry.
You got it. Oh, okay.
You didn't do it, so I figured I had to do it. You're sleeping over there. You're all prepared with everything else, but
I was prepared. Yeah, I had to run a show doc, all updated and everything like that. But then when it came to the top 10 shots, I fumbled.
You fumbled. That's okay. All right, Wally, are you ready?
I guess I'll see what I can do.
Okay, here we go.
All right, number 10 on the list, a new member to the squad. He's got himself a big weekend coming up. Alec Ryan has just continued to impress me with putting bags in on the right side of the hole. He doesn't go in straight like most people do. He has that hard tilt, goes into that 3 o'clock position. Nasty cuss. Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And again, I talked a little bit about Ethan Walker just a minute ago before he jumped on about his ability to put more bags in than he has been. But I think, every doubles partnership is two-sided. And I think what exactly you said, his ability to continue to roll at a ridiculous rate for Alec Ryan has led to their success.
I mean, with all the teams that are left, they're one of the true roll teams now. They can roll better than any team combined, in my opinion.
Pretty good. All right, here we go.
All right, number 9. The other team I was thinking when it comes to rolls is Gavin and Fisher, but Gavin Cano right here, big push, scores 19-17, hits that for 4 points to win the game against Alex Rawls. Huge shot right there. Gavin Cano, big push.
Yeah, Cano to be able to pluck that bag off the side. I think that shows you, him and Fisher. Interesting dynamic and interesting performance by Gavin and Fisher. When I look at the rankings, it's like they're like 12 or 14, even though they made the broadcast in one event. And it just goes to show you they've just, they had one bad event and one good event, but they can certainly still shoot with the best of them.
All right, number 8, right? Number 8, yeah. Great to see Megan Moppin back throwing, teaming up here with Selmeyer, and then a huge shot right there, collecting off the top. I call that the banana peel, peeling off the top, getting a shot.
Oh, I like that. That's a new. I'm gonna have to add that to my phrase.
Well, clearly it's a bit of a mouthful.
To my repertoire.
Banana
peel. I like it.
I can never say banana without saying like the Minions do from what was that show?
Banana.
Despicable Me. Yeah, banana.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Great movie. Good pull. All right, here you go.
All right, number 7. Speaking of good pulls, Jackson Gore with a nasty roll right here, rolling on top and getting the collects. The relect, if you will. Nicely done there by Jackson.
A relect.
I'm just
all right, no, I was using your banana peel. I'm not using relect. That is, I'll say roll drag is what I'm sticking with. You can say relect all you want.
I like roll drag. That makes sense. Oh man,
I like it.
Okay, number 6.
All right, number 6. I mean, this guy has been doing pretty well in singles for not caring about singles. Logan Chamberlain on a tear this season. Huge shot right there, but most importantly, the high rolls and the facial expressions this weekend, bar none, deserve to be on the top 10 highlights.
That's so good. I love it.
I love when Logan Chamberlain's throwing well. I mean, he brings energy, right? I mean, he's underrated, I think, so many times because he kind of gets overshadowed by JBJ. But when he's doing well and he's playing well in singles, like, watch out.
Well, I said it last year on the final chase. I think Logan Chamberlain passed up JBJ as far as skill set and execution goes. So it's like he's starting where he left off. All right, number 5, my guy right here. This is just absolutely nasty. Both players hitting huge shots. Ryan Wiedenfeld, that bag looks like it's out of play. Catches just enough to get the drip on the side. And then Jackson finishes off the 3-bag collect at the end. What a round.
That absolutely stupid by Ryan Wiedenfeld to go in without the other bags is just stupid. Like, and it was out far enough where you're like, this is a dumb decision by Wiedenfeld to even go after it. And then he collects it and goes in without it. It's just outrageous. That's 5. I don't know what 4 you found
right?
It was better.
Yeah, I mean, him and Smith were having a lot of fun this last week. It was fun to watch. But again, I was sitting there looking at it like, what are you doing? Don't play smart. And he hits it. I'm like, okay, I don't know anything.
He said, I did play smart. Watch this.
Yeah. And then number 4, Isabella. She's trying to hold in her excitement whenever she hits this shot, but she can't. Huge up top airmail 3-bag drag. Kaylee can do nothing, just watch on.
Yeah, 3-bag drag, I guess. But Wiedenfeld, I mean, come on. We're putting Wiedenfeld all the way back at 5.
I didn't put these in order.
Uh-oh.
These are all your fault. You show up late. You made the list. This is all your fault.
Got to yell at Corey again. Speaking of Corey, different Corey.
Yep. Different Corey. Corey, light-skinned Gilbert. Him and Dean Norton were the life of the party last week of the kickoff battle. You could hear them across the room. They were just too cool. Too cool.
All right, you redeemed yourself, Corey.
Yeah,
Oh,
Corey
good.
with the graphics.
If you're listening to this, you need to go watch that back on YouTube because that was
I love that. Corey Gilbert and Dean Norton, I hope they stay where they are. They're a top – Corey Gilbert and Dean Norton, ladies and gentlemen, are a top 5 ranked team in the world after that first event. I hope it stays that way with the energy that they brought. I mean, Dean Norton commentating his own shots afterward, semi under his breath, semi yelling out loud, was absolutely hilarious.
Now, we didn't see this Dean Norton last year, right? Like, this is kind of a new version of Dean Norton.
No, Corey, I think Corey brings it out. Corey Gilbert, light skin, by the way, Rome's favorite player. Yeah, him and Rome are close. It's really, Corey's the best. That's all I could say. He's
Corey
exactly.
opened the can, and then Dean is now issuing a can of whip ass all over everything.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, though. I hope it keeps going.
All right.
All right. Number 2, another person we're kind of questioning. Is he back? New version this year. Alex Hicks, huge shot right here, teaming up with Ryan Trader. I mean, Travis Purser can't do anything except for just watch and be like, come on, man.
It's like almost kind of like a rodeo, but almost like, nah, I mean, just Hicks, it's still good. I still think Wiedenfeld's better, though. Just saying. I'm just saying.
All right. So you're still holding Wiedenfeld. Okay. Well, let's see if number 1 beats it.
Number 1, the situation might present itself to be a little bit better in Trey's favor. Plus, a great commentator on the call for this one. Eric Davis stumbling right there off the back. All he had to do was basically put it on the board to not give up the lead. They're going to take a timeout to look at it. And I think during this call, we're all kind of like, this is a stupid shot. Again, similar to Wiedenfeld. Don't take the shot. It's not worth it. Just go board. Get your partner a chance to win, whatever. And then Kyle Malone, Devin Harbaugh, they came up with something otherwise. Huge shot right here for Kyle Malone to take the lead in shootout format.
My mouth dropped, my jaw dropped as I was standing up where you guys were on the live stream court, and I could not believe what I just witnessed. Insane. That is number 1. That one we got right. We can put Wiedenfeld too, but I love Wiedenfeld too. Just that's an Eric Davis shot. Eric Davis got Eric Davis did.
Yeah.
Had to happen sometime, right?
I mean, but at number 1, love it.
All right, let's talk about where the teams are standing right now going into this weekend. So in the American North, the Pennsylvania Ringers are in the lead 22-12, followed by the Ohio Aviators, the Michigan Marauders, and the New England Woodchucks. For the American South, the Florida Freeze leads 23-19, followed by Virginia Cutters, Georgia Sliders, and the Carolina Coasters. For the National Central, Chicagoland Spinners is in the lead 14-13, with Kentucky Colonels, Texas Bullybaggers, and Missouri Mays right behind. And those are really close. So that division specifically is really up in the air. And then National West, the Las Vegas High Rollers with 17 wins to 10 losses, followed by Cali Slingers, Arizona Burn, and Colorado Timber. Trey, what do you think about where the teams are now?
Yeah, 3 big things jump out to me. The first is 2 teams that we thought would be good. Guess what? They're good. The Pennsylvania Ringers at 22-12, and then the Florida Freeze at 23-19. 23-19 is a realistically good score. The Pennsylvania Ringers are 22-12. We don't get that big of a gap between wins and losses this early in the season. That is an incredible record. I mean, when we talk about games back, the Ohio Aviators are already 3.5 games back of the Pennsylvania Ringers, and we just got done with, 1 set of play at the Nationals plus the Open. So right now, I think the Pennsylvania Ringers are in a really, really good spot to get right back to where they were last year. The Freeze in a good spot, right? Certainly barely ahead of the Virginia Cutters when it comes to win percentage, but more games played because they had the extra 7-game series to go. But in all honesty, the Freeze are in a really good position. Number 2 thing, you said it, Michelle. Top to bottom, the National Central region this year is going to be an absolute barn burner all year. Top of the division, the Chicagoland Spinners, they're 14-13. Then the Kentucky Colonels and the Texas Bullybaggers are both even at 500, 17-17. And then the Missouri Mays following it up at 13-14. So 1 game, the team that is in 4th place is 1 game back of the Chicagoland Spinners in first place. So this is going to be a dead even heat the entire season, and I'm excited to watch it. The fourth and final point I want to make up is shout out, how about your Las Vegas High Rollers? 17-10, leading the division. This was a team that missed the playoffs last year, have put it all together, put on a really strong run, and now have a decent lead. Looks to be about 2.5 game lead over the Cali Slingers, who are still in position. Arizona Burn under 500, and that's been the difference in the comparing the divisions. The High Rollers having a much better start to the season than the Burn are. And so the High Rollers will have an opportunity to be a first-place team and play in front of their home crowd in Las Vegas in next month. So they will be a home team, Las Vegas, playing in Las Vegas, division-leading team. So really pumped with how the season has started. Some teams playing really well and some really tight divisional races.
Wally, quick thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, quick thoughts. I mean, like you said, Pennsylvania Ringers, we thought they'd be good. They are good. Ohio Aviators rather than tail. New England Woodchucks kind of disappointing for me so far. I really kind of thought they'd be better. I mean, with all the hype with Ellis on their team, I was kind of surprised that they came out flat, not even getting a win until we got to the first pro event. The Missouri Maize has been struggling to field an entire squad. They got a big weekend coming up here Thursday, so hopefully they can field a good squad and put together the win. And then the other surprise for me is the Cutters. I mean, it looks like trading for the first and second pick overall paid off for them because they're doing a lot better than they did last year. I mean, they were struggling last year. This year, they're doing pretty well.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into our final brackets coming up for this weekend, our broadcasts. So it's going to be our national singles and doubles and our shootout singles and doubles. So our national singles is going to be Jeremiah Ellis versus Adam Hisner, and then Braden Wilson versus Gavin Cano. And then obviously the winners of that will play each other for the ultimate win. And our national doubles is Alec Ryan, Ethan Walker, Ryan Smith versus Ryan Smith, Ryan Wiedenfield, and then Hamilton Cano versus Smith Richards. So Trey, thoughts on our national events and both singles and doubles?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'll put it this way. If Jeremiah Ellis is going to be who everybody wants him to be, he's going to have to earn it, right? First game out of the gate, he's going to have to play, he's going to have to play Adam Hisner, right? And this is Hisner, who has plenty of familiarity with playing with Jeremiah Ellis, right? Mm-hmm. The difference is it's on a main stage for the first time. Now, if there's one added benefit that Jeremiah Ellis had, I thought it was super vital and super important and underrated that he already got his first taste of the broadcast court when he played for the Woodchucks in Palm Beach on a team's broadcast. That gave him the familiarity with the setting, with the feeling. And on top of that, he got thrown right in the ringer against Trevor Brooks and Berkeley Pear alongside Jacob Trzynski, and it was animated. I think that played into him and allowed him to play at a high level because I don't think he started well, but I think he finished well. So here's my key. Jeremiah Ellis, you have to win on the broadcast court like you've won at these opens. You have to stay vocal. You have to stay energetic. Because the second you make this a game all about focus and intensity and trying to really hone in that regard, I think you're giving the advantage to someone like a Gavin Cano. Gavin Cano would love it if there's not even a single word uttered on the entire broadcast that's going on here. He wants to stay focused and and unanimated and just be down the center. Hisner can jaw a little bit, but I think Ellis needs to build some momentum himself by being able to do that. I'm also really excited to see Braden Wilson for the first time and how he handles that pressure. He seems like a really composed 12-year-old, but he's still a 12-year-old, right? There's some level of playing in front of the lights that gives a little bit of a different feel. He did get some experience at the USA Cornhole Juniors National Championship last year, which I think helped his confidence. But just interested to see if he can translate that. On the national doubles side of things, look, Tony Smith and Mark Richards, they teamed up in the offseason. We expected them the best team in the world. They're going to enter this broadcast weekend as the number one team in the world. Across both shootout and national doubles, they have the highest ranking. They have the highest upside. They control their own destiny. And for me, when you look at all of these different players on this broadcast court, there's no one else that I feel more comfortable with than putting on a broadcast stage than Mark Richards. Someone can take it from him, but he's not going to show up to that broadcast court and choke it away. He's going to play at a really high level. And so for that, I really think they should be the prohibitive favorites on the national doubles stage with, Ryan Smith and Ryan Wiedenfeld not too far behind as far as broadcast and broadcast winning experience goes.
All right, Wally, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit more excited for doubles than I am for singles, but use that word quite a bit that I can never say, familiarity. The Ohio guys throwing with the Ohio guys, the Texas guys throwing against the Texas guys. So both these matchups, they played against each other quite a bit. I want to see how Ellis is coming into this with a few staples in his head now. I mean, I don't know if you guys have saw on the socials, busted up his skull right before broadcast. I mean, what kind of mindset does he have going into this? And then what type of game is he going to play? Is he going to try and run the bags, or is he going to try and play the mental game as well during the 4-bag toss, if we will, to see what happens. In doubles, I'm on the opposite side of you, Trey. I actually think Fisher and Gavin are coming in stronger than Mark and Tony. There was a tournament this last weekend. Mark and Tony did not look good at it. I really wasn't super impressed with them at the first kickoff battle. I feel like they found a way to get here. But Fisher and Gavin, they just look like they know it's theirs, and everyone else is just in their way right now. So I love the confidence coming out of them. Smith and Wiedenfeld, obviously coming off of the Open win, they've just been performing at a high level. And like I mentioned, they are having a blast. They're having fun doing it. And then Alec Ryan and Ethan Walker, kind of a wild card. You never know what you're going to get out of these two. But, again, such high skill level players, they can compete with anybody.
Moving on to our shootouts. So we have shootout singles. We have Eric Davis versus Ian Cripps and Jeremiah Ellis versus Tony Smith. And then in doubles, we have Getty Thorson versus Frisch Cameron and Davis Sorrells versus Landis Scheibner. Trey, who are you looking at?
Shootout singles and shootout doubles. I'll say this much. Both broadcasts are determined by one player, and his name is Eric Davis. If Eric Davis shows up, I'll say this much. If you look at an MVP ballot and you said, Trey, put together an MVP ballot right now, Eric Davis may be number one, guys. He legitimately may be number one. He is the second-ranked player in singles right now. Number two in doubles, number 2 ranked team right now. Nobody else can say that. Yes, Jeremiah Ellis has made it in both singles events, but hasn't been as strong in doubles. So I know many people will put Ellis at number 1 on their MVP ballot right this second. Now we're just in the first national of the season, right? It's a little bit early to be saying that, but I say that to say Eric Davis is throwing at an incredibly high level. But when we see Davis on these broadcast courts, every single time we get one of two Davises. We get one that gets frustrated early, loses interest, and he loses 21-4, right? We've seen that happen time and time again sometimes when he gets on this court. Or we get a Davis in round 2 that hits a really big collect shot, and then all of a sudden he's by far and away the best player on the broadcast court. Eric Davis will single-handedly determine this broadcast. If Ian Cripps does not start well and you let Eric Davis gain confidence, it would not surprise me to see Davis take that down. And then in this heavy hitter matchup between Ellis and Smith, I anticipate that going 30 rounds. Oh, no, we can't go 30 rounds. I expect that to be an absolute battle and one that will be it'll be emotionally taxing for both players. And so because of that, it would not surprise me if Eric Davis comes in and actually takes it all down, even though Ellis and Smith may be overall better on the day. Same thing with doubles, playing with Matt Sorrells. Matt Sorrells is just a gamer, right? He shows up on the biggest stage, and he always seems to deliver. He did it back in 2019. I expect him to do it again here. Scheibner is kind of like that Eric Davis. If that natural cut that he has on his slide shot isn't working, it fades quick. And that's something on fast boards he's going to have to figure out on that broadcast court very, very quickly. So I expect Davis and Sorrells, if they can gain a little bit of momentum, especially on the other side of the bracket, you have a combined 0 broadcast appearances outside of teams between Carson Getty, Hunter Thorson, Vincent Frisch, and Austin Cameron. I really, really like the position that Eric Davis is in right now.
Well, I like to hear that. All right, Wally, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked that I'm right there with you. Over the last weekend, Eric Davis was by far the most impressive person that I saw there. I mean, we say it time and time again. Eric's mind is what costs him games over and over again. If Eric Davis could ever just play the game of cornhole how it's supposed to be played, he could be the best player in the world. And we saw that. we were sitting there commentating his matches probably 3 times this last weekend. I was like, oh, we're about to see something nasty from Eric. Here we go. And it was just a normal, straight, smart, disciplined shot to maximize the points to get him and Sorrells in this position. And Sorrells looked loose. He looked fun. And I think more than anything, he's just there to hype up Eric Davis. He's like, whatever you want to do, I believe in you, bud. Go ahead and go after it. So, I mean, it's kind of weird for me to say because I felt like I was the biggest Eric Davis hater last year, but I'm on board. I'm right there with you. It's not that I hated him. I just like watching his highlight reels. I didn't like watching his game personally.
It's tough.
I'm excited also to see Ian Cribbs basically playing at home in front of what I expect to be a pretty big Ian Cribbs crowd this week.
I think I've just been a Chargers fan for so long. I'm just used to the up and down. You know, I just ride it out. It hasn't paid off yet with football, but
but you did bring up a really good point, Wally, and that's that. You know, when Eric Davis was at his best, especially in doubles, it was alongside Brett Guy, right? And I think when him and Brett were really good together, when they first got into the pro division, they almost came in as underdogs and the reason for that is because everybody's eyes were on Matt Guy and Jamie Graham when they first became a partnership, and everybody thought they were just going to win everything. And so Brett, as a partner dynamic with Eric, got to help him feed into that underdog mentality and that hype up and things of that nature. Then as the years went on, there was almost that expectation rose, and they couldn't play that same type of card. And I think mentality-wise, that could have affected Davis. And now Sorrells comes in with a completely different approach and a completely different mentality that may be really, really good for Eric Davis. Maybe this happy-go-lucky, like, hey, man, let's have a good time. Like, you're the man. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, that type of attitude maybe is really, really good for Eric Davis and maybe the key for them to be successful.
I think you might be onto something. But we have to move on. We have cornhole trivia. I'm going to give you guys some questions. I want to know if you can get these answers. And Trey, you didn't look these up, right?
I didn't look up the answers, but I have seen a lot of stats, so I might be a better guess
then
than
we'll
Wally.
have Wally. Wally will answer first, and then Trey.
Yeah, I almost looked it up, but I was like, I don't have fun. I'm going to guess.
You have to. Otherwise, it's not fun. All right. Who are the top 3 singles PPR leaders right now between Matt Guy, Pat Sem, Jeremiah Ellis, Dylan Turpin, Ryan Wiedenfeld, and Jamie Graham? So give me the 3 top ones.
Okay, so real quick question. Is this from the kickoff battle or is this for the whole season so far?
Just kickoff battle. Yeah.
Just kickoff? Okay. Battle. I mean, Matt Guy is probably always up there. I'm going to go with Matt Guy as 1. Pat Sem is pretty much the same player right now as Matt Guy. So I'm going to go Pat Sem. And then, man, I didn't really get a chance to watch much of Jamie Graham. So I'll go with, but other than the blind draw, but I like what I saw. I'll go Jamie Graham, Matt Guy, Pat Sem.
Trey?
I'm going to go Matt Guy, Jeremiah Ellis, and I think Ryan Wiedenfeld had a really good statistical weekend, so I'll go Wiedenfeld.
All right, you guys, it's Matt Guy, Dylan Turpin, Ryan Wiedenfeld.
Wow.
Dylan Turpin is the new Allen Rawls.
Yeah, Dylan Turpin is the new Allen.
All right,
great way to put it.
Next one, we got to keep moving. Which player leads singles DPR with a .85? And that's between Jeremiah Ellis, Sammy Soto, Ryan Wiedenfeld, Alex Rawls, Eric Davis, and Jacob Trzynski. Wally.
I'll guess here with Trzynski. I think Trzynski's just been very good, and he's been putting it on people when he wins. And whenever he loses, he's pretty close.
Trey?
I'm going to go Rawls.
Ryan Wiedenfeld.
Wow, the kid is killing it right now.
Killing the game. All right, which doubles team has the highest win percentage at almost 87%? Smith Richards, Davis Sorrells, Frisch Cameron, and Getty Thorson. Wally.
I'm going to go with Frisch Cameron because I don't think they play together much, so they don't have time to get losses.
Yeah,
well, just from the kickoff battle.
Yeah, just from the kickoff battle. But either way, I think it's got to be Frisch and Cameron because I think they only lost twice. No, they only lost twice, and both of them were in the national double. So I'll go them.
You guys are both right. All right, which two players have over a 1 DPR in doubles? Tony Smith, Ethan Walker, Ryan Schrader, Austin Cameron, Alex Rawls, Hunter Thorne, Eric Davis.
I will go with Hunter Thorne and Ryan Schrader. I think Ryan
Trey?
Schrader's been lights out. Hunter Thorne is for some reason really good at doubles this year.
Yeah, I think I might have cheated a little bit. I think it might be Hunter Thorne and Austin Cameron because I think Cameron's got an insane DPR right now.
It is Austin Cameron and Tony Smith.
Oh, really?
Okay. So Tony's still good. Okay, that's good to know.
I didn't get to watch many of his matches.
Who is the team's MVP with a 10.64 PPR, a 1.82 DPR, and 78% rounds won? We have Jaden Ellis, Braden Wilson, Ryan Smith, Eric Davis, Mark Richards, and Justin Burton Jr. Wally.
I mean, I'll go with JBJ. I really haven't got to watch much teams, but I think he's possible to put up them numbers.
Trey?
I think it's Braden Wilson, actually. It's either Braden Wilson or Eric Davis, I think.
It's Eric Davis.
Eric Davis. We couldn't have the answer. We couldn't get all the way through there.
All right, we don't have much time, but real quick, let's go through the Superhole lineup before we wrap up with our hot takes. So we're going to have Bills versus Patriots in our first hour of Superhole. That's Daquan Jones with Blaine Rozier versus, all right, how do you say this name?
Matthew Judon. Don't you
Judon.
disrespect Matthew Judon.
Sorry, I don't know the Patriots. With Zach Engelken. So they will battle it out. And then Deion Dawkins and Adrian Johnson will play Kendrick Bourne and Mike Ferreira. So that's your first hour. And then obviously the winners of those will play each other. And then our second Superhole is Jawan Johnson from the Saints with Frank Modlin against Eric Kendricks from the Cowboys with Caleb Batson. And then Derek Carr with the Saints and Trevor Kufis with Brandon Cooks from the Cowboys and Devin Harbaugh. So definitely tune into the Super Bowl. That's Saturday night, 10 o'clock Eastern. And then that'll go for the 2 hours. So it'll be really exciting. All right. It's time for hot takes. What do you got, Trey?
I'm going to go kind of a different route than just picking a winner. What I'm going to say is there are 4 people right now that I would put on my MVP ballot if I had to fill it out right this second. And my hot take is those 4 people that are on my ballot right now will be on the ballot at the end of the season. So those 4 people are Jeremiah Ellis, Tony Smith, Gavin Cano, and Eric Davis.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. All right, Wally.
All right, so I'm biased. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I'm going with the K9 unit sweep this weekend of the Kickoff Battle. K9 sponsored players win everything. Let's go.
I don't even know who those are.
Yeah, you say it like we know who it is.
You got both the females. You got Gavin. You got Jeremiah Ellis. Alec Ryan's now rocking the logo on there. Ryan Wiedenfeld, Ryan Smith, and Carson Getty and Hunter Thorson.
I picked all my picks for the broadcast last show, so I can't go that route, but I am going to go for the Open. And with the impressive stats from Ryan Wiedenfeld, I'm going Ryan Wiedenfeld for the win with the Open.
Let's go.
Oh,
first singles
I
title.
completely forgot about the Open. Yeah, I could have. Yeah, it could be first singles title. I didn't even think to pick the Open. That probably would have been a good thing to pick too.
All right, guys, that's all we got time for. We'll see you all this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.